I love a good listening lesson, and I also love a good movement lesson. And if you can combine movement with listening, I'm doing pretty well. But in this lesson, we're combining movement with listening, with rhythm, and it is just like all of the wonderful things in the world. So in this video, we're gonna talk about how you can use Beethoven's 7th Symphony movement number 2 in order to work on quarter rest with your kiddos. This is a great lesson for 2nd grade. I've used it with 3rd and 2nd grade. Sometimes I use it to introduce quarter rest. Sometimes I use it as a prep. Sometimes I use it as a review. It just kind of depends on what I, am in the mood for. Now, during this video, I'll pop up a couple slides up on the screen so you can see some different things that I share with my kids. This is all in the Google Slides lesson that is available on Teachers Pay Teachers. You are welcome to purchase it. You don't have to purchase it to do this lesson, but you are welcome to. I will leave the link down below. It includes a video with the audio so that you have the audio ready to go and all of the visuals that you'll see in this, plus a whole lot more. So let's get started. All right, so before we get started, I like to start with just a picture of a whole bunch of different statues from around the world and have the kids match all of the different statues. The reason is we're gonna make some statues later, so I want them to have a couple of ideas of statues that they could potentially make to get into it. It also kind of helps hook them into the lesson because they're like, what does statues have to do with music? And I'm about to tell them. So after we do that, then we look at the rhythm that goes along with this song. A lot of times I'll do another song, so we're already working on rhythm, then I'm like, great, let's read this rhythm. So the rhythm is very simple. It's just ta, ti, ti, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta, 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 ti, ti, ta, and then a quarter rest. Now, if we have not learned, I'm gonna pretend like we have not learned about quarter rest yet for the purposes of this video. So if we have not learned about quarter rest, then I put a little Statue of Liberty statue there. And someone asked why I picked Statue of Liberty. Honestly, because it was green and all the other statues were white and they just didn't stand out enough on the slide. So I liked the green one. And so that's why I picked it. That, all the thought that I put into it. So when we get to that end, I'll be like, what is this? And they'll be like, the Statue of Liberty. And I'm like, is that a rhythm? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay, when you see the Statue of Liberty, we're gonna make a pose. You can do the Statue of Liberty, you can do a different statue, whatever you want. And then we also talk about the repeat sign and how it goes back to the beginning. So we'll read the rhythm again, and this time we'll kind of whisper it and do ta, ti, ti, ta, ta. So we'll whisper it first, then we'll do it again, and they'll whisper and tap the rhythm on their legs. Then we'll do it again, and this time we put the beat in our feet, but tap the rhythm. Not all of the kids are going to be able to do that, so just be aware that it might be a little difficult for some, but we try our best to get everybody doing that. Once we have all three of those things, then we'll play along with the song. I'll usually play only like 45 seconds of it, and then I let them move around the room if they can be trusted. And so they do the same thing but moving around the world, so they're around the room. So they're whispering the rhythm, they're playing the rhythm, they're walking to the beat, and they're making statues all throughout the room. We also talk about how you should be louder when the piece gets louder, and quieter when the song is quieter, so that they kind of match with the song. Sometimes we wait until the next day to walk around the room, and that works too. After that, then I'll ask them some questions, and so I'll be like, okay, so we had the statue. What happened when we had the statue? And usually someone will be like, oh, we froze. I'm like, great. What happened in the song? Like, what happened in the music when we had the statue? I'm trying really hard not to call it a song because my choir director used to like get on to us about calling them songs when they're pieces. And for some reason, I'm so used to saying song now that I can't do it anymore. Anyway, what happened in the music when we got to the statue? And they'll be like, oh, well, it didn't really do anything. I'm like, okay, so, like, was it a sound? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so when we got there, it was quiet, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, that is something super cool that we have not learned yet. And so I'll show them the two rhythms we know quarter note, we know eighth notes. And then I'll say, now, do either of them have no sound? They're like, no. I'm like, okay. And then I'll show them what a rest looks like. I'm like, when we have a beat that does not have any sound, we have a rest. So a rest means that we have a beat, we don't have sound. So if we're singing a song, that we stop singing. If we're playing a song, we don't play anything on that spot. After that, I'll have them read through the rhythm on the board with the actual quarter rest. We'll play the song, and sometimes we add instruments, and so we'll play with like sticks, and they'll play the ta, ti, ti, ta, ta all the way through and practice, playing that quarter rest. Then we'll add some new rhythms that we haven't learned yet, and then I like to transition that into a new song that also has quarter rest. So if we were doing that, then maybe my new song that we're gonna like sight read the rhythm to is Ickle Ockle because it has a quarter rest, or Quien es esa gente is one of our favorites. That one has a quarter rest in it, and something like that. So we'll learn this one, we'll play what we already know, and then we'll play a new song, sight read new rhythms, and that will be our new song that we'll introduce after that. It's extra fun if you pick a song that has a game along with it, because then once you get the kids to read through it, then you can play the game and then you can come back to it later on as well. So that's the whole lesson. I usually spread this out over 2 or 3 different days to make it a little bit more fun. It's great as a warm-up because they're moving around and it's just a lot of fun and the kids are really gonna like it. So super effective, using lots of different modalities. It's a great time. You can grab the lesson pack down below in the description that has everything you need. It has the music, it has all of the visuals, it has like literally the slides that are like, this is a quarter rest. It gets a beat with no sound, like literally everything that you need to know to say, and it's very easy to go through, very simple to follow through, and as usual, it's in regular and stick notation. So you can click the link down below to grab that, and I would love to know if you have other classical pieces that you like to use in order to work on different rhythms or melodies, because that is something I'm not great at, but I really want to be. So give me some ideas down below in the comments, and I can't wait to see what you've got.